Hello and welcome to the Watkins Glen International Speedway, nestled in the Finger Lakes region of New York, and from a standing start, our 42 HARC competitors in Race 1 are underway, and the driver with the best start is going to be Chester Harvey, your pole sitter for today's event. Chester Harvey has been so close all year long. He's had really solid performances, just hasn't been able to get the W at the end. But Chester Harvey is confident. He's a very good all-around racer, as he's done well on basically every type of circuit we've thrown at him. A huge lead for the Hooters machine, and he's going to try and pull away from the field in the early going. Harvey's hoping that today can be his day to shine, as Carl and Dumian following close behind in the one machine, as the field starting to work their way through lap number 1. Coming to the bus stop for our first time of the event, and Chester Harvey's going to lead them through. Lap 1 and 2 went mostly free of incident, except William Brock at the tail end of lap 2 gets turned around after making contact with the wall. Bad luck Brock is fortunate that his car is not damaged any worse, but he's going to have to start the race from pretty far behind the rest of the field. Lap number 3, Carl and Dumian in number 1 has started to catch the 57 of Chester Harvey, and Dumian, very experienced driver, a lot of years in the HARC Pro Series, and was your winner at Calder Park last year in our finale. He's going to steal the race lead away from Chester Harvey and take the lead for himself. Driver out of the United Kingdom. As we mentioned, a lot of experience in that number 1 machine, and that car has been pretty much a fixture here in the HARC Pro Series. He's going to get by the rookie in the 57, and he's going to take a time leading this field of cars around the winding corners of this racetrack. Matt Engelram, your Homestead winner, gets turned by the Flintstone Flyer coming out of the corner. I'm not sure if that was a bump draft gone wrong or if there was a little bit of bad blood between the two. I can't think of any times where they got together. Engelram rights it without much incident, but much like William Brock, he's going to fall way back of the field. He'll have to try and play catch-up today. Kyle Collins was hoping for a solid run after a great effort at the Brasstown Bald road course earlier this year. Almost won it. If you didn't have a mechanical issue, make some contact with that wall coming out of the final corner, turn 11. You see William Brock back there making his way down pit road. I think they have a rear tire rub from that contact. Prudence Littlejohn, the 31 machine, hoping for a season turnaround, but Denzel Williams is going to turn her around. This is a bad spot. Watch out, everybody. Oh, heavy contact. Annie Thomas in the 93, and then Matt Engelram involved as well.
We're done, guys. The car's totaled.
A disappointed Prudence Littlejohn over the radio. As we take another look at this one, the Buffalo Wild Wings machine turns Prudence Littlejohn on this straightaway, slides into the middle of the track, and I think Annie Thomas locked up her brakes. That's why she turned so abruptly. Matt Engelram, though, just nowhere to go. Track was completely blocked and did not have enough time to slow down. Let's take an onboard with Matt Engelram. You can just see the track start to close up ahead of him, and oh, that's just horrible contact for all 3 drivers. All 3 would be out of the race. Brandon Crasto with issues on the final corner. He gets to the wall, collects Zayden Davidson. John Arndt and Benoit Lothair-Irvine involved as well. Not a good start to this race for Brandon Crasta, and it would get even worse. Coming to pit road the next lap, he thinks he's fine on the inside line, but Joshua Michaels cuts it way too close and makes contact with him. Blake Camphausen involved, along with Jokey Lessinen in the 666. And in fact, more contact as Crasta gets over to pit road a little too quickly. As a bad start to this one for Brandon Crasta, not doing what his brother's doing out front. Tony Green, the 32's, had a lot of bad luck these past couple of weeks. He collects Aiden Shepard and Jim Gambit. Heavy contact with the wall. That's going to hurt his day. His Golden Corral machine is absolutely wrecked up. He's going to continue to drive that thing, but not sure how well he's going to fare today. Carl and Dumian in number 1 has retained this lead, but Chester Harvey has been lurking right behind him, trying to steal that lead back. Side by side through the S's, as Chester Harvey looking for the spot. And Dumian's got the preferred line here, but Harvey's going to have the inside on the exit of the corner. A lot of right turns at this racetrack, so you kind of want to be on that side. Harvey and Dumian, drag race. Jack Lagacy offering a little bit of drafting help. He's not really backing one particular driver, because he's kind of hanging in the middle. Harvey's going to get a good bus stop corner, and Dumian pulls ahead going into the carousel, but 57 of Harvey, they make contact with the wall. top 2 in the field are out of this one. Heavy contact. More cars involved. That's Frankie Munoz in the 02. The 97, Nicholas Guerra. Heavy contact with Endymion. And the guys running 1-2 are now out of the race. It looks like Chester Harvey. Ooh, Chester Harvey looks like he merged in front of Carl Endymion. He thought he was clear, but he wasn't. Guerra involved in the 97, and Munoz out of the race as well. I think Spencer Fullerton's got some damage too, but he would continue. This puts Jack Lagacy in the 18 out front, unsponsored, number 18. The Lagacy family not having a good season. Both he and his brother Al have had a lot of bad luck. They're mired near the bottom of the standings. This could be a turnaround. And how about the guy behind him, Daniel Voiles, last in points going into this event. He's had a rough season. They now run 1-2 on the racetrack. Lap car of Aiden Shepard. They're going to try and work their way by him. Lagacy looking to the inside line. They also have got Sidney Krasta in the 21 right behind both of them. He's a driver that's a little bit more expected to be up near the front. As Krasta is going to try and steal second place away from Daniel Voiles. I don't think he's going to get it done. Shepard's a little too off the pace to get a good drafting line off of. John Bunnell in the number 53. He's had a couple of solid performances this year, but he gets off track and clips the inside wall. Heavy contact with those tires, and I think that's Wes Jones in the background sliding off track. Let's see what happened to him. Now it looks like Bunnell got out way too far, just clips the 404, and then he goes sliding. And I think his spotter's a little bit heavy about this one because his spotter was complaining about having to try and find that roof number. It's not really standing out too well, so at least he gets to stop straining his eyes today. That wouldn't be the only issue in the bus stop. A couple other cars would go off. There's Estavas Cortez out of Mexico. Controversial issue last week. Kyle Collins again was trouble. He's out into the wall. And he would not be the last. As these cars crawl away, a couple other will come in to fill their spot in the bus stop. As I think we'll see them soon. There they are. There's Jerry Guerra and Jim Gambit. Some people are saying there's oil on the track from Aiden Shepard's number 14. So the officials are going to have to look at that one. No cautions on the road courses, so these drivers might have to just deal with it. Daniel Voiles in the 52 car is going to edge Jack Lagacy out to the line and steal the race lead away. This is a race for Daniel Voiles. He needs this run because he is so far down in the points. It's going to take a miracle for him to catch up. 84 drivers in this series. He's back all the way down in 84th. But he's going to get out front, lead some laps, try and score a few bonus points while he's at it. We do offer bonus points for most laps led, fastest lap, so if he can start gunning it on the racetrack, he might be able to get some solid points today, perhaps maybe even win the race today. Lagacy following suit behind him. There's Sidney Krasta behind him. And we have a while back to Sylvan Lasalvage in the number 88 machine. Andreas Allen, veteran racer in this series, is going to get turned by the rookie Tony Tabulares. Not a very graceful treatment of the veteran driver who competed in the 5-year anniversary a couple weeks back. But Andreas Allen not going to have a wreck like the 31. He's going to get back out on the racetrack without much incident. At that number 39 Hardy's machine, only going to lose a few positions. Denzel Williams, a driver out of Florida, drives it too far out and makes heavy contact with the tires. Crushes the entire left side of that vehicle, and that will end his race early. We mentioned Sylvain Lasalvage in the number 88 machine. He's catching his way up to the top 3, and now he's trying to make a pass on Sidney Krasta. Lasalvage we haven't talked about too much in race number 1. Hasn't really been a factor when he's in it. But the 88 machine hoping for a solid effort today as one of the few Dodges in the field, trying to catch the race leaders. Couple of good drivers up in this top 10, but we have a couple of underdog drivers sitting right ahead of them. You see these drivers in the bus stop area ignoring those track limits. They've been able to cut it very close to the grain. We take a look a little further back on track to a driver that's probably the fan favorite today. That's Casey Lester in the number 013, driving the HARC New York machine. That's one way to win favor, but the driver's out of Horseheads, New York, in southern New York. So I think this is going to be fairly close to what he would consider a home track, between this and Pocono, which we ran last week. So we'll have to see how Casey Lester does. He's currently 6th overall, and he's been very fast this weekend. He's hoping for a solid effort. as he runs in the top 10 and maybe wants to get that HARC New York machine into victory lane in front of the crowd. That would be a very popular victory today. Daniel Voiles and Jack Lagacy are pulling away from the rest of the field. I never thought I would say that in a HARC broadcast, but for some reason today it's true. Daniel Voiles and Jack Lagacy are the top 2 cars on the racetrack at the moment, but they have a problem. Lap traffic. We got a pack of about 5 cars in front of them that they're all going to have to navigate through. Now, Daniel Voiles is in a bit of a rough spot because he's going to be the first one to take on these guys, but Jack Lagacy hoping that he can pick his way through when he catches these lapped cars. Voiles closing in on this straightaway, he'll probably catch them. A lot of these guys involved with wrecks throughout the day. Oh, contact between 2 of them. That's Irvine and Art. Slides in the racetrack. Daniel Voiles is collected. He's in the middle of the racetrack, and the 52 is flipping. Car number 52 flipping down the front straightaway. Oh my god! The leader in second place wrecked on the front straightaway with lap traffic. Voiles up and over. I've never seen anything like this in my life. As Daniel Voiles, we have to look at this again. So John Arndt and Benoit Lethere-Ravine collide. Voiles gets involved in just a T-bone from the 18 of Ormond, and Voiles just goes barrel rolling down the front straightaway. We gotta count 8 times he went over, and that's gonna collect all the drivers behind him. That's 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. All right there. Let's take another look at what started this wreck. So, yeah, John Arndt's going to turn the 15. I don't know why he did that. I'm not sure if they had some bad blood from their previous contact, but you can just see the 52 car take a heavy hit, tumbling down the front straightaway. That's a very disappointing flip for Daniel Voiles, but same for Jack Lagacy. Both of them hoping for a good race. They're out of this one. Let's go on board with Daniel Voiles just to see. It's a good thing we have roof cams on all these race cars. Look at that, it just goes for a tumble. Ground, sky, ground, sky, ground, sky, and it just speeds up because this is a downhill slope, this front straightaway going into turn number 1. So the momentum just carried him over and over and over instead of flipping him just once. Now, we mentioned 3rd through 7th is all right there. Who's going to take it? James Shelley is going to steal it away from the 21 of Krasta and the 88 of Lasavage. In fact, Lasavage has some issues on the 88 car. He might have a tire down from that contact. He'll have to go down pit road at the end of this lap. But James Shelley is going to take the race lead in a car that may look familiar to longtime HARC viewers. This is a throwback scheme to the car that Gerald Reddington drove in this series. Also to the one that Tylor Thaber drove last season that took him to victory at Flat Rock. Shelley hoping that this scheme will be good luck for him today as it's seen a lot of success. Casey Lester following right behind him in the 013. Sidney Krasta still in a position to perhaps take this race win away. Sylvain Lasavage in car number 88 limping through the bus stop. He's going to get a little bit more insult to injury as Jokey Lessinen's going to punt him off the racetrack. Lessinen always seems to be hitting guys when they're down in this event. I don't know what it is about Jokey today, but he's been really handing it to drivers that have had wrecks. Challenge for the lead. Casey Lester is going to go past the number 12 on the inside line. Coming out of turn number 1, the crowd is going to go wild as Casey Lester is going to steal the race lead away. Can the driver out of Horseheads get it done today? A couple of lap cars in front of them, including Benoit Lethere-Ravine, who was involved in that last big wreck. But Casey Lester going to take over this lead on lap 23, closing in on the halfway point of this one. But will Irvine move out of the way? The 12 car is going to slide a little bit out of the groove. That's going to allow Sidney Krasta to make an attempt on him. Doesn't work in full, but the next lap, Sylvain Lasavage is going to be an obstacle for the number 013. Now, I know Sylvain's a little bit upset because the lead was right in front of him, but he really should be getting out of the way of these race leaders. He's been kind of holding up the 013. As going down this back straightaway, the 013 not be able to get by. James Shelley peeking out to the high side. Can Shelley clear the 88? He's on that high side in this corner. Runs it a little wide. And Casey Lester is going to retain it. He's got to close down that inside line. Coming out of that corner. Oh, car on the wall. That's the 96 of Allie Nelson. She was running in 4th place, but contact with that wall is going to send her around. And Lester is going to defend his race lead. Krasta moves to 2nd. Shelley is actually going to be slowed down the most by LaSalvage. Let's take a look at that again, see what happens. So Allie Nelson, the 96 car, goes around. But that's not all that's going to happen. 2 laps later, Nelson's going to hit that wall again. She was running 11th that time. It's going to drop a couple of positions outside of the top group there. So Allie Nelson showing off the durability of the Denali, but I don't think that's what she wants to advertise. Car number 55, AJ Green, currently sits 5th place right now. This is a career run for the Jolly Rogers theme park machine, as AJ Green really needs this. For a while he was mired at the bottom of the standings. I think he was last at one point this year. This has been a good race for drivers to try and raise their point counts, but as shown with Voiles and Lagacy, it's been kind of an issue. PJ Williams, 6th place right now, but he started dead last on the grid. He's been working his way through the field very quickly, but he would be the first guy to lead off green flag pit stops on lap number 30. Williams will pit from 6. He brings down Hartono in the 24 and a couple others. Zayden Davidson's going to have some issues right behind him. He gets into the wall. Second time he's had issues over there. It looks like Shepard's going to just push him out of the way. Driver from Australia in the Regina Builder machine. Here come the leaders down pit road, and there goes Tony Green into the wall. Tony Green fighting a very ill-handling race car after that heavy contact in the S's. Casey Lester was the first down pit road, and he would be the first to leave pit road. And in fact, he would gain on pit road. Has a huge lead over the number 12 of James Shelley, who did not get going as quickly off pit lane. This could be a good opportunity for Casey Lester to get something done today. Fred, Granddad Flintstone in the F1, the Flintstone Flyer, living up to his name. He's flying right now as he's going to try and pass James Shelley for second. They had a great pit stop. He was running about 10th place, picked it up all the way to 3rd, 7 spots of gain. So great job for Fred Flintstone. Now he's going to try and seal the deal and perhaps get his first win of the year in what has been a very difficult season for the driver out of Boulder, Colorado. Did very well at Brasstown Bald, got his season best 3rd place finish there. He's hoping to recapture the magic of it. Perhaps challenge Casey Lester, who you can see right there in that white number 013. Flintstone is catching. He makes contact with the wall. A costly mistake for Fred Flintstone. And that car is going to slow itself down. He's going to lose a couple positions on the racetrack. What a shame for the F1 machine. Flintstone's going to have to wait another week to perhaps catch up. Tony Tavares gets off in the bus stop and he slides into the wall. He was sitting a career best 9th place. Tavares would keep it going, however, in that number 69 machine. And wait a second, I think I've spoken too soon. He's got an issue with that 69. The engine's going to go. Oh, that's a shame for Tavares. Just got it recovered and loses the motor just about a minute later. So I really feel for him. But I see Andreas Allen in number 39, kind of give him a bump like, see you later. Thank you for wrecking me earlier. I'll see you in the garage area. Blake Camphausen's going to have issues in that corner as well. He's going to slide off, get into the wall. Not sure if it's still slick from Aiden Shepard or if there's some issues from another driver who made contact. I'm not sure over there. A lot of drivers are saying it's very difficult to get through there. Casey Lester in the 013 has been gaining on James Shelley every lap. He has got this race in the bag. It's his race to lose. He's got Esteves Cortez right ahead of him, though, in the number 62 Arnold Motor Machine. And, oh no, Casey Lester! He overdrove the corner! Race leader, Casey Lester, making this the 3rd time your race leader has wrecked today. He's into the wall, and hopefully he doesn't have a Tony Tavares scenario where he has to come down. There's Fred Flintstone off track again, right behind him. What a tragic one today. Absolutely disappointing as Casey Lester, a mistake on lap number 44 of 51, is going to lose him this race. And the crowd is so upset. Oh! What's going on there? Chris Dodd's going to turn Tommy Turbo, his teammate and best friend. I'm not sure if they're having a bit of a squabble there. They'll probably have to talk about it. I think Tommy Turbo might put Chris Dodd on the dartboard after this race. But who inherits the lead? Why, it's James Shelley, car number 12. Shelley's been doing good all season long. He's had a couple of strong runs on the short tracks, and he's been in position to win a couple times. Took a flip last week at Pocono in race number 2. That was a very scary incident. I did not expect the car to flip at Pocono, but I didn't expect the car to flip on the front straightaway of Watkins Glen either. 12 car is in the lead. He's got Sidney Crasta right behind him. The 09 of Brandon Crasta is off the lead lap behind him, though, so he's not a factor. 55 of AJ Green has worked his way up to the 3rd place position. He gets passed by PJ Williams, though. It's going to drop him down the 4th. He runs a little bit wide, gets caught in the grass. Oh, that is a shame. AJ Green was having such a solid effort today, but overdrove that corner. Got caught up in that grass. It's a little bit muddy down there. Had some rain before this. Car number 88, Chris Dodd. Car number 05, John Arndt. The 013 of Casey Lester again, and Allie Nelson all go for a synchronized slide into the bus stop area. Driver is really struggling with that section of the course. Now we have to spotlight Grayson Acevedo on track. 5th place at the moment. He wrecked here early last week and had that very controversial under caution wreck the previous weekend. But I think Acevedo took the criticism I brought against him to heart, as he's really trying to improve himself today. He's been keeping it clean. No issues in the CNN Buick, as Grayson Acevedo hopes to finish this thing strong, perhaps get a solid points run here at Watkins Glen and, put last year behind him. PJ Williams in car number 26 was the driver who took 3rd away from the 55, but he's got an issue. We got reports of battery problem for PJ Williams. That car's starting to slow on the racetrack. He's trying to switch it to his backup reserve battery to try and get him back down pit road. But that is going to be a shame for the 26. Doesn't get it fired up in time. He's going to get passed for a position. He would have to make another stop to reconnect some wiring. I think their battery got knocked a little bit loose on this circuit. But a driver we have to spotlight is Christian Hartono. Yep, Hartono. I got it right. As he's having a solid effort today. He's been very quiet all season long, but just finishing really good, really consistent, and just racking up those points. I wouldn't be surprised if Hartono is a championship competitor at the end of the year. The Indonesian driver having a solid run in that 24 Mechanics Wear Chevy. He just needs to bring this thing home in the closing stage of this. Lap traffic is going to hit the leaders, and look who it is. It's Esteves Cortez, the driver who is ahead of car number 013. James Shelley trying to make the pass underneath, almost turns himself around, and that's going to allow Sidney Crasta on the 21 to catch up. Drag race down this section here as Cortez trying to do something about it. Hartono is not even in view, so it's a 2-car battle for this victory, as Shelley struggling to get by the 32 of Esteves Cortez, who's been fairly quick for who he's been. Crasta into the wall! A costly error by 2nd place as we head to the final lap, and James Shelley is going to take that white flag. However, we weren't done yet with incidents. We had one more during the day. Allie Nelson and Tony Green are going to make some contact going into the bus stop. Tony Green loses control of it. It's going to turn Allie Nelson around. Nelson's been really kicked around the racetrack today, and that's going to be the final one for her today. But James Shelley, he kept himself in contention all race long. This has been a weird one. The leader has wrecked 3 times this race. Not this time, as James Shelley goes to victory lane here at Watkins Glen. What a solid performance by the Doritos machine, and really doing a good job honoring Gerald Reddington and Tylor Thaber. Kudos to James Shelley out of Virginia on a great victory today. Rest of your top 10, Sidney Crasta, Christian Hartono. Tommy Turbo, despite getting spun, recovers to finish 4th. Grayson Acevedo in 5th, followed by Henry Williams, Fred Flintstone, Zayden Davidson, Chris Dodd, and Andreas Allen gets to rub that top 10 in Tony Tavolares' face. Great job by all those drivers today, as some of them I know had some issues throughout the event. Recovered well to finish in the top 10. This will go down the record books as one of the strangest races I've ever seen. But it certainly was an entertaining one for the fans. out in the stands today. But before we head to our final results, we just want to give a quick shout out to our man Spencer Fullerton in the 73. He has been driving a modified since that first wreck with Chester Harvey. He finishes not only 13th on the grid, but on the lead lap. So great job for Spencer Fullerton to finish the race with a car that looks like that. Good job, Spence.